If you guys have seen the recent videos, you will know that we've just hit Grand Champ 3 for the first time ever. What you won't know, however, is that the following day, we immediately lost it and fell quite a way down. Now, for a lot of players, this would be incredibly discouraging, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I wasn't affected by it, but I also know that the only reason it happened was because I wasn't playing the game I know how to play. And today, we'll be finding out exactly what was going wrong as we compare our gameplay from our peak rank of GC3 to what was going on while we were in the middle of this slump. So to start things off, we're going to be looking here at one game from our time in GC3. As brief as it was, we did have a couple of games here, so we're really going to be taking a look at the decision making, at what we decide to do both on and off the ball, where we decide to go on the field, and just how we move around our teammates to give ourselves a better chance to succeed in this game than we're going to do in the next one we're going to take a look at. Recognize a little bit of space, take some time with it, force the 50, that's fine, it'll be a free ball for our teammate now. Again, we're not running away from the play, we're looking for good opportunities to go get boost. Again, recognizing the space right here, we're popping this one into the air to the backboard, not going to get anything from it. This is probably a bit ambitious because realistically with a play like this, with our teammate right here, if we just go straight off the backboard, it's very difficult for our team to stay in a good, solid position. More than likely, the opponents are going to be able to capitalize on this in some way, shape, or form. So we should probably be looking for some kind of 50-50 or some kind of soft touch on the ball so that we can keep it from bouncing hard back out into the midfield. Because as you can see, teammate is not in a great spot. Luckily, he does bail us out of that situation, and he is actually going to score on the counterattack. But we need to be very careful of that decision making because at this rank, our teammate is able to bail us out from a bad decision like that. Even down to a rank like GC2, GC1, our teammates are not going to be as capable, and we are not going to be as capable if we're down there. So we need to be very careful of that decision making to make sure that we're not putting our teammate in an unnecessarily difficult position. Grab some boost off this kickoff. We're back. We're down by 1 at this point. Once again, unfortunately, giving up that goal right off the kickoff, but that do happen sometimes, so not the end of the world. Gonna tap that one on forward, grab some more boost here, just calmly wait around. Another divey challenge here. So early on in this game, we're definitely not doing the best job with our challenges, and again, it's not really magnified here because our teammate keeps bailing us out, but my guess is that's something that's going to cause us problems when we look at the game that occurred in GC1. One thing I will say we are still doing a good job of is just our boost pathing. We're only going really where it makes sense. Sure, we're going to get big boosts sometimes, but it's not like we're only eyeing up those big pads. Nice little touch to the backboard there. Going to put the opponent in an awkward spot. Teammate slots it. I like this idea here not to go directly at the net. That one guy is probably expecting us to play a shot here, so the fact that we go to the backboard really probably throws him off, and he's not quite ready for it, so it allows us to set up teammate for a nice, easy goal there just from going in the direction that our opponent might not necessarily expect. Okay, kickoff could be better, but again, we're not going to that corner boost. We're just taking pads and getting back in net, being ready for where our teammate needs us to be. Recognize teammate's still in front of us. Let's just calmly wait back. There's no panic here. Looking to control the ball. We do get bumped, but again, the fact that there's no panic means that we're not going to find ourselves that far out of position. We can easily rotate back, get ourselves back in a good spot. Again, a little bit of a bump of our teammates, but again, we're totally calm here. This is not an area where we're worried about something going horribly, horribly wrong, and we get rewarded for it with a free transition down the field simply because we played calm and composed defense. And that's something that I find a lot of lower rated players struggle with, even myself from time to time, and sometimes probably, as we'll see later on, fairly often, is just playing this kind of composed style, just understanding that you don't need to fly at every ball, you don't need to hit every ball as fast as possible. Sometimes it's okay to just take a step back and wait and see how a play is going to develop before you make your move on it. Once again here, just playing for a 50-50, not trying to do too much, not trying to force anything, just keeping the ball in a solid spot, keeping ourselves in a spot where we can recover quickly and get back involved in the play. Look for some demos here. Why the heck not? Teammate has free control of the ball, so no reason not to apply some pressure as long as we can get back and support our teammate before things get dicey. Once again, we're just going to very quickly get back behind our teammates so that they can force forward. Allows us to jump up, and this is one thing that I want us to be very aware of, and probably something that we're not going to see a whole lot of in the next game we look at. It's understanding where our space is. So, looking at this guy's just flicked this ball forward. They can't get back to it. This guy's starting to work this way. If we get a powerful touch here and just like hit this ball off the wall and bounce it out into this area here, it's just going to be free for Fatal to run onto. So instead, what we want to do is just try to keep this ball as close as possible so that we can at least get another challenge somewhere around this area of the corner so that we can continue to be involved in the play. If we just hit that ball away, we're going to find ourselves out of the play by no one's doing but our own, and that simply gives unnecessary opportunities over to our opponents. So, nice little light touch there allows us to get back for another challenge. It's not the best challenge ever, but again, we are able to get back into a supported position very quickly. So now, we're able to just chill, wait patiently, allow teammates to do their thing, and just kind of play off whatever it is they're doing. Once again here, not rushing in, not getting too close, just taking the ball when it comes to us, taking what the opponents are willing to give us. We're constantly working the ball out with control right now, and it's really making it very easy to stay safe in this situation where we have a 1-goal lead. The only way we're going to get ourselves in trouble here is if we give a pretty decent opportunity to these opponents. So that's really what we're just trying to avoid. We're just trying to avoid any super dangerous mistakes, even right here. This is just very nice awareness of understanding where the opponents are. So as we respawn, we see the one come behind us. So we know someone, and we just did a rear view check. We're going to do a right stick check as well. So we know there's an opponent over there. We know that for a fact. So any ball that travels over to the right side of the field, we can just assume that that opponent is going to turn on it. And we need to be aware of that to know where we need to go to be the most effective for our team. And as we can see here, the ball goes over our head. It's on that right side of the field. We know there was an opponent over there. So we're not going to think that we have space with this ball. We know someone was going to be there. So we just immediately play for this incoming shot. And we have the angle cut off and covered without an issue, purely because we had that awareness of where everybody was. Once again, patience here, not panicking. Bit of a poor 50. I like the idea. We just didn't, get behind the ball as well as we would like. So poor execution for sure, but the idea, I think, was quite solid. And again, up into the air, we're just going to get behind this ball, try to force a 50, put it in a spot where they can't play it much. Teammate going to get the clear out. We're just going to take pads up the field, mark Fatal here to make sure they can't get a free clear. They're passing it down the field, but they're not in a dangerous position, so we're just going to sit back and watch, and teammate is going to be able to slot it into the back of the net. So, decent win there. Certainly, obviously, some mistakes that are costly and will be costly in other situations. Luckily, our teammate was able to bail us out in several awkward spots that we put him in, so we need to be very careful about our challenge game. But the things I will say that we did well was our ability to stay involved in the play, in most cases, except for those couple awkward challenges, our ability to take soft touches and control the ball, and our awareness of where people were and what we should be doing to put ourselves in the most successful position possible. So these are things that allow us to be successful in this game. The more you're involved in the play, the more boost you have from just pathing off of small pads, the more aware you are of everything that's going on, the easier it is for you to make the right decision and then be able to execute on that decision as well. So now let's compare this GC3 gameplay to some gameplay from a more recent game where we found ourselves back in GC1. So here we are with our replay from GC1, and when we're looking at this, my expectations are that we'll see us be punished for unnecessary commits. We'll see ourselves not controlling the ball very well. We'll see us just making some very awkward decisions that are going to lead to us being in bad spots. Like right here, we jump early for this ball, and realistically, there's no reason to. Like, we absolutely could just take a little bit more time along the ground, let this ball bounce, and then jump up normally, and get a very easy touch. But instead, we try to go too fast, we try to do too much, we don't keep the play simple, and it leads to a miss like that, and us being in a very awkward spot. Calmly waiting. And again, here we go into the air where we don't have to. So, in the previous game, there's no way we're jumping for this before we need to. Absolutely no way. In fact, if we look at this opponent, they're mid-flip, so they can't jump for this ball. So we 100% have more time to let this ball come down, position ourselves well. If we need to jump, we can when it's closer to actually get the ball over the top of this player. Or if they back off, we can just catch it. But instead, we're going to go up super early. And what that means is that our touch is a lot more difficult than it needs to be. Because, like, why are we making this touch? What good does this do for us? Well, nothing, because the ball is just bouncing out for free to the opponents. Luckily, they don't do anything with it. But then again, we're going to get jumpy there. Just jump up into the air when we probably don't need to. We could have just forced that touch and allowed the opponent past us and then rotated back behind into a safer spot. I think we're just going to be very jumpy this game, I think, is my understanding of what we're going to see. Some nice patience here. We'll cut this one off. Get a little block. Sure, no problem. Ball to the backboard. We do get a touch there. That's fine. Wait on the backboard then for what's going to happen. We get ourselves in an awkward spot here, and realistically, this goal is probably on us for this poor touch. And I know we just talked about, oh, be patient. However, looking at this position, let's just look at where we are. So, yes, this player probably won't be able to follow this up very easily, but this player absolutely will be able to. I think we also know that they have a lot of boost. Let me just double check real quick if we are aware of the boost amount that they have. Absolutely. So they've just picked up the mid boost. So we know that one of them is fully boosted at this point. So when this ball goes off the backboard like this, we absolutely need to be worried about it. And we probably should be jumping up a little bit early and making sure that we clear this ball out to the corner, out to a safe spot. Just whatever we do with this ball, it needs to clear it away from danger. But what we do is we just stay on the left side of the ball for whatever reason, and we just wait so long that now it's just super awkward. So we've already had one moment where we didn't wait long enough, and now we've had a moment where we waited too long. So it kind of feels like we're just struggling with our timing on challenging the ball. It seems like that's where our real struggle is, and we also just jump off the wall for no reason when we could have absolutely just waited and jumped out. And we are very much struggling with our awareness of where we need to be, what we need to be doing, and it's costing us goals in situations that we probably shouldn't be giving them up. Fake challenge like that, and we jump again. Hey, are you noticing a trend yet? I sure am. He's in the air. Why are we jumping? Well, boy, I freaking have no idea. Maybe we could have gone back to net and our teammate wouldn't be in such an awkward spot right now. Maybe. Who knows, though. Alright, we do recognize space here. Take time. Yes, good. Like this. Over the top of one. Gorgeous recovery. I like the idea, though. I think we were trying to land there and get back in the play. We just didn't recover properly. Again, idea solid, execution lacking. That's at least decent. Also, awareness, does it exist? Do we have any awareness at all? Do we see our teammate pointed back towards the corner in any way, shape, or form? No, apparently not. We are just tunnel visioning on the ball, and it means that we just run right into him. Absolutely beautiful. Maybe we should have been a little bit more aware of our teammate sitting very clearly right in front of us, and not done this. Teammate gets a soft clear. We'll just wait. Free ball. What do we do with it? Keep it close. Very good. All right. Actual good decisions here. We love that. I'm waiting for the moment that we lose this game because I know we're going to. And I don't remember what caused it. Well, this doesn't help. We have all the time in the world. All the time in the world. And we do this. I mean, come on. Like, you can't. You have a free catch off the wall. You can't do this. You can't just bounce it off the wall like that and give it directly to your opponents. You're just asking to put your teammate in a bad spot. Luckily, we do get back to it, but we should have had a decent offensive opportunity there, and instead, we were having to react to what they were doing rather than making them react to what we're doing. Good little block here. Pressure the bump, that's fine. Swing on around. Recognize the clear coming out. Again, poor awareness of our teammate. We're tunnel visioning on the ball way too much. We need to know that our teammate is still over here and that he's turning. Because if we know that he's turning, there's absolutely no reason for us to continue to go this way. He already has this area covered, so us working in here does absolutely nothing. So instead of going that way, we should just be swinging either just back towards net or out into the midfield here to be ready for whatever he's going to do. Because realistically, if he gets a block here and the ball bounces into the midfield and we're there, that's a wide open net. But instead, we're over here covering the same area of the field that he is, and we're going to get absolutely nothing out of it because we're just, you know, all piled up. But boy, if we were in the midfield, this would be a very good opportunity. Not necessarily guaranteed because of this other guy being here, but it certainly would be an opportunity that we could possibly play with. What is this clear, man? Like, it's not terrible. Because, yeah, we want to get a touch, but realistically, like, looking at where everybody is, this is the threat. They're already turning back. So, if we can pop this ball into a spot that we can follow it up, maybe even just to the backboard to put the opponent in an awkward spot, that's going to give us a very good position in the play. But instead, we're just so worried about beating this guy that we don't even consider the quality of the touch that we get. And it means that we just get, you know, the world's worst looking clear that just floats very nicely directly to the opponent. So, sure, we got the clear, which is great and all, but we didn't get anything out of it. We didn't gain position on the field. They're going to be able to transition it right back. And we certainly didn't apply any pressure to our opponents in that play. We just kind of let them do whatever they want, and then teammate gets beat, we get beat, and yep. But this all comes down to the fact that I handed them the ball. If I don't hand them the ball for free, they don't have this dribble. It just doesn't exist. This entire play developed from a position that shouldn't have existed because it was created by us making an unforced mistake. And sure, there was like pressure from the opponent, but we absolutely could have done something more with that ball, and us believing that we couldn't have is just us honestly trying to make an excuse for ourselves. Jumping for joy over here. We got no pads. We're not checking for where the opponent is. We just decide to send ourselves, regardless of the fact that we're probably going to get beat. Could have just gone for pads and put ourselves in a better position to play for the 0-second play. But instead, we get antsy. We're trying to do too much too fast. And it just results in the ball going onto the ground at 0 seconds. So, when it comes to slumping, the biggest culprit tends to be autopilot. And as we saw in our game here, we were really tunnel visioned on the ball and just kind of going with wherever that was, not really considering what other players were able to have an impact on it, and that ended up putting us in bad spots. So for you guys, if you find yourself in a slump, I highly recommend that you take a look at a game that you played at whatever higher rank you were at, and compare it to one of your games while you're stuck in the slump, and just see what the differences are in your decision making, in your rotations, in your positioning. For me, because we were on autopilot, just following the ball wherever it may go and not really considering much else, that was our autopilot. We weren't thinking about where we needed to go based on the other players. We were simply thinking about where we should go based on the ball. And when you do that, you're going to find yourself in a lot of bad spots, as we did here. Of course, thank you everybody so much for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you who made it to this point in the video, and I do hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button right down below, so you make sure you don't miss any future Rocket League content. Additionally, if you'd like to be a bit more involved in the community we're building here, feel free to check out my Discord, which I'll have linked down in the description. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.